Car's ready for an 8th mile race for sure, so it should be really fun. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, turn it off. Probably tired of hearing me. Yak, 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 yak. You guys push that record button, man. You know, let's get the YouTube garage heated up, man. It is summertime. Mile race for sure, so it should be really... Yak, 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 yak. You guys push that record button, man. You know, let's push that record button, man. 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 You know, let's get the YouTube garage heated up, man. It is summertime.
You know what? He's right. A lot of us are not pushing the record button. Some of us had good reasons. Some of us don't have good reasons. I think I have a pretty good one. Just a couple weeks back, 3-4 weeks or month, I don't know anymore. Hang on a second. I'm going to take a look here and see what the last video is that I posted. Let's see. Okay, the last one I posted was June 17th. Blue Bombers' new football stadium. So, that was, a little while ago. It's the 25th now, so 8 days. Well, I can tell you that Monday the 17th was okay, but starting on the 20th of, I'll be back, just hang on. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm gonna just sit up a little bit, be easier than he's looking at my nose. Whoa, too much. Sorry, I've been a little bit warm, so I have to excuse the okay, you have to bear with me because my SFB is a little bit different. That right now I'm sometimes having to pick a single word in a sentence instead of just losing a thought completely. It's a little bit different. I'm getting used to it. It's just been like that for a few days. Just something that happens. And so I was mentioning about things going since I last posted. Last Thursday, when I woke up, I didn't feel right. It didn't feel right actually Tuesday or Wednesday. Just kind of run down a bit. Just didn't, you just don't feel yourself. You just, something's off. And by Thursday morning, I woke up and I really felt bad. And couldn't get out of bed. Just felt weak. Couldn't wake up. But I wasn't able to get into a deep sleep either. And Amber came home for lunch Thursday. And it was progressing by that time to where I was getting chills. And I'm the kind, when I get sick, I want to be left alone. I want nothing to do with anybody. Don't talk to me. Just look in once in a while. If Amber comes down, don't be saying, do you want me to make this? Do you want me to make that? No. Leave me the hell alone. She knows that, and she's really good at it. If she thinks I should eat, but she knows I can't eat very well for whatever it is, she'll just come in with a piece of toast. That's great. She understands. When she comes back, she'll just kind of look, how you doing? Good. Then she'll leave. Short and sweet. Or sometimes I'll say, oh, can you make this for me or make that for me? Lunchtime. She said to me, and she does this usually, should I stay home? I said, I don't know. So she finished her lunch, and she came again and said, so, should I, do you want me to stay home from work? And I normally say, leave me alone. I said yes. And I don't know why. Well, I do. I was sick, but normally, like I say, I want to be left alone. But for some reason, I wanted her home. Well, as things progressed Thursday night, I started getting fever, alternating between hot and cold and sweating and all that stuff. And with MS, when you get a fever, a lot of people with MS have temperature sensitivities. So when I start getting a little hotter, the nerves don't conduct properly, and it get just not good for us. So what happened was that was coming, and whenever I got hot again, if I had to get up and go to the washroom, I couldn't. I was getting weaker and weaker. Hadn't eaten. As the day went on, I hadn't eaten since Wednesday. And, since I've also got a bit of diabetes, your blood sugar starts doing things. And it just progressed to where eventually my right leg wasn't working, per se. Now, it wasn't like it was just like a dead leg. I couldn't move the muscles, or couldn't get the muscles to move it. So when I get up to go to the bathroom, my balance is obviously way off by this point. Amber actually had to lift up my right foot, move it forward, and put it down. And it just progressed worse and worse. Night came and I wasn't feeling good, and it's sweating and back and forth. Temperatures, and Amber checked my temperature, and it was 102.1 or something. So, not good. But normally with me, like I say, leave me alone. And then you have the added problem that with MS, sometimes you can't make decisions. So she said, do you want me to take you in? And I said, I don't know. No, I'll just wait a bit. I don't know what I was waiting for. So the whole night went like that. It was a long night for me. Friday morning, she got up and said, you want me to stay home? I said, yep. So she phoned in and said she had to stay home for me. And it was getting worse. And by around supper time Friday, I couldn't sit up in bed. I was so weak. And Amber just had to dead weight pull me into a seating position. I couldn't assist her at all. And it took everything I had to go from sitting to standing. And she had to move both feet. I could hold myself up, kind of with holding the dresser and with my cane or with the bed or whatever. And she would have to physically lift my right foot forward, then my left foot forward, and kind of just actually make the the moves forward so I could go to the washroom. Bathroom, washroom like we call it, or restroom in the States. Toilet for you guys over there, Petey and Neil. So it just got, and then it got to where I had to sit on the toilet until I had enough energy to be able to stand up, because Amber can't lift me. I couldn't physically lift myself up off of the toilet. So I got back into bed, and Amber was still saying, we gotta go, let's go. And no. Part of it was, I know how I have to feel to be able to travel, and I couldn't have done it. So waited another hour or so, and I had that kind of a break where I felt kind of stable. So I said, let's go. So we went into the hospital in the next town. That's the closest one to us. It's about a 15-minute drive. And I got in through the first emergency door at the hospital. Amber grabbed a wheelchair there, and I literally dropped into it. And they triage you right away. And the nurse that was on duty to do the triage, not the one doing the question asking, but the one that was going to take me into the triage room or whatever. Luckily they weren't too busy, so she would just stood there and listened to everything, so I didn't have to answer the questions twice. And they went through the whole thing. And long story short, they said, you're pretty sick. Can you manage at home when you're like this? Well, no, I can't, and Amber can't do it. I'm just too big and too heavy to have her lift. So I said, no, I can't do it. So they kept me overnight Friday night and all day Saturday, and I was just going back and forth from burning up to chills. Give you an indication. My temperature at one time was normal, 98.6 approximately, or whatever this. It's funny, I still use body temperature in Fahrenheit, but at the hospital they use Celsius, which is, I guess, the standard. So 98.6 is normal, and it was, high 98, so just basically normal. 45 minutes later, it was up to 102.6 or 102.4, and it would fluctuate like that in, an hour from one extreme to the other. And so they were going to put in an IV. So I kind of smile and wish them luck. And it's not because I'm afraid of needles. It's not because I don't like needles. It's not because of anything. I have veins that don't like to get poked. They move, they disappear, they collapse, and they kind of think it's, okay. So anyway, they needed several vials of blood, or a couple vials of blood as well, for analysis. So they had to draw blood as well. So, needless to say, after 6 tries, they still didn't have any blood. So they gave up on even trying with an IV and said they'd wait in the morning till the lab nurse came in, because they do that all the time. She came in and they had said that I was troublesome that way. So, well, I'll get it, no problem. So she, throws the little rubber strap around my wrist, or not my arm, and does the tap, 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 and feel around for it. Nothing. And then she's trying more, and close your fist, and do this, and do that. Couldn't find a vein. First one she missed. Or it hit on her. Second one she actually did get it, but just barely. So the tubes she was filling took painfully long. Probably 3 or 4 minutes, where normally, when they get blood tests, they can fill 2 or 3 of those tubes in no time at all. Took a couple of minutes. And then the type of tests they're running, they had to get them from both arms. So they got those ones. Then she went to the other side and first try there. So to get 6 vials of blood took 9 tries. And they decided that they're going to see how well I could drink water to rehydrate, because they didn't even want to try to put in an IV. By the way, the record for trying to get an IV in with me is 12 tries. Back years ago when I had pneumonia. So needless to say, by the middle of Thursday night, Friday morning, I was a human pincushion and not feeling well, and I just literally collapsing on the bed in the exam room. So they kept me overnight, put me into observation, and I spent the night there. Amber came back home, and then came back out late in the morning, and I was still not good, but I was able to eat, and it stayed down and everything. I didn't feel upset stomach or anything, just absolutely no energy, high temperature, low, just that, like this with the temperature. And that went on, and finally, maybe supper time, when Amber came back for another visit. I'd slept all afternoon, which is hard to do in hospital beds, because I was in one of those little observation ones where the cushion is about this thick, and when you're my size, it's like trying to sleep on an unpadded creeper. Doesn't work. I started feeling a little better late afternoon. I just gradually started feeling better, and then as the night went on, better and better. So by Sunday morning they let me out, so I spent 2 nights in hospital. They never found out what it was, but so there's the reason I wasn't making videos the last couple days. 4 or 5 plus days of feeling like crap, including 2 days in the hospital. And when the temperature got bad, I couldn't focus on anything to read anything. And I ended up that my right leg, on the right side of my right leg, the whole thing went numb. Like absolutely felt like it was dead, which can happen with MS. The problem is when you get a symptom with MS like that, even from a fever, every time there's the chance that will never go away. Okay, there goes the brain again. I was going to make this short, but because I'm having to think almost every word per sentence, which is, like I say, it's a little different. I'm home, glad to be home. I have nothing in the tank right now. And I do have, however, like you can, I don't know if you can see that. There's a couple pokes in the arm there. A couple more. In the backs of my hands, I don't know, I can see one or two there. And then on this hand, you can just see the discoloring of my hand. But they're not swollen anymore. But this one was, and painful when they do, because after the first attempt or so, with the problem, they go right to the big bore stuff, which now you're not just poking a hole, you're drilling for oil. And those ones hurt more. And I normally have a fairly high, moderately high pain threshold. And it was starting to get uncomfortable. But now I'm backtracking. Sorry. Yeah. This started off as telling you why I haven't been making videos. I was sick, was in the hospital. That's why I didn't make videos. There. Reader's Digest version. And in closing, I just got I got a bit of a delicate thing I need to talk about with one particular person, Tom Duncan, out there. When we were in Florida and we met, you mentioned what Cindy does for a living, and you had a certain way of describing it. We got a chuckle out of that. And I told you what I had nicknamed for what she does for a living. They don't play. They just, when they're going to, they just hold it. But one thing I would ask with Cindy, you should ask Cindy about, is when I do that, does every nurse give you a smile and a wink and then go call all the other nurses to come and watch as a safety precaution or something? I don't know. I couldn't understand that part. Don't ask me how I know, by the way. So everyone, don't worry about me. I'm coming along. I'm just nothing in the tank right now. But I feel a lot better. It's just I have to build up stamina again. It kind of doesn't bounce. I don't bounce back like normal people. So, as you can see, I haven't shaved for a little while. The only thing I had was my mustache when we were in Florida. Now I got a little head of hair, but it's a beard. So I'm going to let you go. And in a day or so, when my hands don't hurt so much from all the poking from the needles, I'm going to get back at it. And so take it easy, everyone, and have a good one.